Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Debbie, destination wedding expert, so self-proclaimed destination wedding expert. I help couples who want to plan something really special, like a wedding or a honeymoon or anniversary or something really special. Um, when they're miles away from home, that would be the location, that would be the destination. I specialize in the Caribbean, but I'm here on Sundays at 3 to talk about anything related to love, romance, travel, that's a little different. And I think doing something away from home is different. Please let me know where you're joining me from. Just type your name and location in the comments. So I wanted to answer a question that someone asked me a couple of weeks ago. I didn't get around to answering. And the question was, do you do this full time? That's a fair question. And as I record this today, as I'm with you today, the answer is yeah, kinda. I sort of have a few other ventures going on, not a 9 to 5. So I guess the answer is yes, kind of. Um, what I do overlaps in some different areas. I help folks that want to do a really independent, specialized trip to the Caribbean, meaning not the all inclusive, but something very detailed and focused. And I also work with several solo business owners, entrepreneurs, and help them with their operations and their systems. And it's a good balance with doing this, helping couples plan weddings. So, someone asked another question that sort of came out of that was, so how do you get into this? How do you do this? And I believe I shared my journey before, but I'll share it again. I started in the wedding planning industry as a traditional wedding planner, meaning local weddings, hiring me to help them figure out their wedding plans. And I remember years ago when I wanted to do this, and you may have heard me tell the story, I'll be quick this time. My hairdresser Rose in New York, when I told her what I wanted to do all those decades ago, and she said, "No one's going to hire you for that. Only the rich and famous hire wedding planners," as if to suggest I couldn't work with the rich and famous. But and that derailed me, and for a long time it held me back, and um, self-doubt. I think, what happens, what we experience today, imposter syndrome, we hear things like that. It's real, but a lot of the stuff isn't new. It's just in a different format. Back then, there wasn't Instagram. I don't know if Facebook was a thing yet. I don't think it was. I'm aging myself. But anyway, I went forward with it anyhow. And back then, I had to put an ad in the online yellow pages, an ad, y'all. And I remember thinking, I didn't want to spend the money to do it. And I placed the ad, I think maybe the Tuesday or the Wednesday. And by the following week, someone reached out because they needed my help. And you may have heard me say this was a Jewish couple, wanted to get married, and they hired me. I'm not Jewish, but helped them with the wedding. And I was like, off to the races. So I did that for several years, first in New York and then in the Washington, D.C. area. And then a couple came and asked for my help with planning a wedding outside of the US. Well, actually in the US, because it was the Virgin Islands, which is part of the US, and asked for my help with that. And that's how I got involved in the destination wedding industry. But in order to do this, there are different routes, and you'll notice that when I talk about what I do here, I almost always mention travel. And travel is a big component of a destination wedding. A destination wedding happens when you take all of your guests and you kind of land in, I'm saying land, you position, you focus, you're set up, you set up shop, as it were, for your wedding somewhere other than your hometown. And everybody travels, including you, the couple, and your guests. When you do that outside of the country you're based in, that's international travel. And although we've come very far, you most people can book their own travel, but when you're booking a group, like a group for your wedding, it's always a good idea, in my opinion, and the industry's opinion, that you work with a travel advisor or travel agent. And you can do that. There are many that, I mean, it's not if I know people have said something to me, that's still a thing. It actually is. And I think if COVID taught us anything, is that stuff can go wrong. And when it does, if you don't have a professional in your corner, it can be very difficult to maneuver. So I realized then that the travel is a big part of weddings, at destination weddings, and what a lot of wedding planners do. What I did with the couple I helped when they got married in St. Croix is, well, they don't. I don't think they actually had a travel planner. I'm telling porkies. That's not. I'm telling lies. Americans say porkies. You in the UK know what I mean when I say that. But um, it's good to have a wedding. You need a travel planner. If you don't, if there's ever a situation where you need a travel planner or travel advisor, excuse me, travel agent, is with a destination wedding. And as a travel agent, you need credentials in order to book travel. So fast forward several years, I have the credentials to book travel. And that ties in well with what I do here. Is it required? No. You can still be a destination wedding planner and align with a travel agent or travel advisor or travel agency. They handle the travel and you focus on getting the wedding stuff together. I hope that does that make sense? Because what happens with the places that I focus on, which is the Caribbean, most of the weddings happen at an all-inclusive resort. And when you plan a wedding at an all-inclusive resort, there's a team. Hopefully, there's a team on site. They deal with the planning, the setup, the location, the venue, the decor, the ceremony, the paperwork. If you're, so you can be legally married, and you walk. I, the travel advisor, work hand in hand with them, but the bride and the groom also work with the on-site team to get all those details together. So, as the saying goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Such a terrible visual now that I say it. There's more than one way to do this. I have chosen the route of being a travel advisor and a wedding planner. There are many travel advisors who have no desire to be part of the wedding business, and there are many wedding planners who have no desire to be part of the travel business. I, in my crazy infinite wisdom, have taken on both. So that's one of the ways to become a destination wedding planner, but many, many different ways to do this. The way it works is, you're running a business. I'm running a business. And right now it's just me. I have to find clients and then help them. Um, I wonder sometimes if I'm doing things in the right way, in the most efficient way, but I am very detailed and very keyed into systems, and you need to have systems because think about it. If you're having a wedding, you're traveling, you've got to get the flights, you've got to get the accommodation figured out. You've got to figure out the venue, the menu, the ceremony site. You got to do all of that. And then add 20, 30, 40 more people who also are going to join you at this destination. They're going to have questions, which flights, which airports, what kind of rooms, how much do the rooms cost? What about food? Is that included? Is there anything that's not included? The catamaran cruise that you've organized for everyone, do they pay for that? Or does the bride and groom pay for that? A lot of questions. And if you're trying to do that on your own, you, the couple getting married, without having a travel advisor by your side, you are the person that has to answer all of those questions. And me, when I put on that hat as the professional destination wedding planner and travel advisor, I also have to have systems, because I don't want when one of your guests contacts me, it takes me days to get back to them, or worse still, I don't get back to them because I've missed it. And these are real situations, because I've spoken to folks who have been guests at a destination wedding, and the travel advisor experience hasn't been great. I mean, if you're listening, as you watch right now, if you have experienced that or heard that story, heard that refrain, post it in the comments. But it is real. So you need to be on your A game. You need to be able to contact, you need to be able to work with people, and you need to be efficient and to answer their questions. I specialize in Sandals and Beaches Resorts. They're a wonderful, wonderful brand. Luxurious, all-inclusive throughout the Caribbean. But if you ever go onto a Sandals website to book, forget weddings for a moment, just to make a reservation, the room categories are overwhelming. You may pick a date, a start date, an arrival date, and a departure date, and there's just like it's just a laundry list of rooms that you've got to pick. And if you're not familiar, it can be overwhelming. And that's where someone like me comes in to help. So imagine that experience for each one of your wedding guests. You don't want that. You need someone to guide them and say, there are 20 categories, but I think you should pick from one of these two, perhaps three. And I've talked to before about this room block situation where you're trying to set aside a set number of rooms for your wedding guests so that when they arrive, so when they're booking, they don't have to guess and they don't have to worry about what the price is going to be. It's going to be fixed for them. So those are things that I don't think the average person should, not that you're average, that the everyday person should have to be concerned about. And this is something that I pride myself on being able to help clients with. All of that behind the scenes stuff, let me handle that. You do all the fun stuff. Pick your menu, pick your cake, decide what flowers you're having, decide what kind of events, decide what the DJ is going to play, what music you're going to walk down the aisle to, all of those things. You do that and let me figure out all of the other logistics behind the scenes. I love it, and you're going to benefit if I handle that for you. So I hope that makes sense and helps you understand what it is that I'm talking about and what I do. I think with social media, some things really show up as being very glamorous and a lot of fun. It is fun. Glamorous isn't something I would add. Isn't something that I would say it is. It's just knowing what to do next and having a system. One of the perks, though, I will tell you, with regard to being involved in the travel industry, is that the resorts and the destinations will invite you to come and see what's going on. Come take a look. Come see what it is that we do. And one thing that I'm guilty of is doing that and not sharing. I'll give you an example. When I went to Sandals Negril, I believe it's Negril. I did a tour. In fact, what I did a few years ago, I did all the Sandals resorts in Jamaica in one fell swoop. I was there for about 2 weeks and I visited each and every Sandals resort, and they're all wonderful, but they're all different. Here, let's see. This was one of the guests. This is one of their frequent things, right? You go into the lobby and there's this is normal. This is normal. And there's just this beautiful peacock there. I don't know if you can see him. And I was there taking a shot of that. And you can see there's a guy standing at the front desk. Not a big deal. Not a big deal to him at all. But that's something that I get to do with regard to travel. If you've ever heard of Sandals, that Sandals has an Overwater, has the first over-the-water bungalows in the Caribbean. These are beautiful. They're actually literally buildings that are standing in the water on stilts. It's their higher room category, and you can see there's an outdoor tub. And what this gentleman is showing me is that when you go inside, you can see there's another shower there. I think I cut the sound off, but he's walking through everything. But these are things that I get to see so that I can explain firsthand. And can you see the location? You're literally above the water in your over the water bungalow, and catch that view there. That's your view, unobstructed view when you step outside of this over the water bungalow. It's your own little home in just set aside from the main beach. In some of the locations, you need to take a speedboat to get to the bungalows. Others, there's like a boardwalk to do that. But that's what the over the water bungalow looks like. And you can see you're literally right there in the water. Not in the water, but you get my feeling, right? So you can see from where. So that's hard for me to explain without having been there and been a part of that experience. So these are things that are part of being in the travel industry. If you're not in the travel industry, you don't get to see things like this firsthand. And I'm just showing you one more time
We have
is
your
not the
tranquil
best shot.
soaking tub
But so you've
located
got
on
the
this side, as
outside
well as your
tub
outdoor shower. And once you
and the
exit your outdoor
shower,
shower,
and
then
then
you're
you
on into
go
your
in. I have
indoor
another
shower.
video where you can actually see. And what's really beautiful here is that when you walk in, you can just see the water.
Oh,
There's a glass
wonderful.
space. I think I've got the video of that too. I should have shared that with you. Um, but lots of options as a wedding when you as a travel advisor, things that you get to see firsthand um, when when you do some of these visits. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. It's got the thatched roof and all of that. So, um, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. Hi, Janice. Good to see you. Janice says gorgeous. It really, really is. And to be fair, I'm not doing my due diligence with sharing what the experience is when you travel and see some of these places. I have all this footage, all the videos, all of the pictures, and if I'm not sharing them, what is the point? What is the point? But anyway, thank you, Janice. So good to see you. That's how it works when you are a travel advisor slash wedding planner. If you're just doing the weddings, then you work with a travel advisor. If you do like I do, you kind of the best of both worlds. But it also means that you can book endless travel. Like I said it before, if you need help with a trip across the world, nothing to do with the Caribbean, I can help you with that too. But that's what I wanted to share with regard to how it works as a destination wedding planner slash travel advisor. Is it is it lucrative? It can be. If you're working with Sandals, and let's say you're booking about 8 to 10 weddings a year with the let's just focusing on Sandals. If you're doing about 8 to 10 weddings a year, let's say you're averaging about 20 guests per wedding, thereabouts, some more, some less. You can collect about $100,000 a year, 100K in US dollars. That's based on commission. And I forgot to mention that. And I'm going to wrap things up because I've got to, as I said, I overbooked today. The way it works is once a guest books with the hotel and the trip is over, the hotel will pay a commission for you bringing that guest to them. It doesn't cost the guest anything more to book, but you, as the advisor, receive a commission. And depending on the head count, the number of people that go, that determines the income that you make. But it absolutely can be lucrative. It depends on how you work it and which brands, meaning Sandals and others that you work with. One thing I do want to point out is that I'm a little different in that I kind of align with a handful of brands. Right now it's Sandals and Beaches Resort, and one other that I'm sort of on the fence with. And a lot of travel agents don't do it that way. They work with several brands, and that's great for clients. But I kind of tend to align with brands that I know are going to deliver, and brands that are going to make my clients happy. Financially, it's not a fit for each couple. I get that, but I feel better hedging my bets with a handful that I know are going to do a really good job for you, as opposed to having this smorgasbord, this long laundry list of different resorts and hoping and crossing my fingers that you're going to have a good experience. It's not Consistency is important to me, and Sandals is consistent, which is why I kind of stick with them. Again, it limits how I can help, but I prefer to go that route. And what also I keep in mind is that um, it, it's the experience for your wedding guests. Are they going to have a good time? Are they going to be nothing's 100%. Are they going to come back and say, yeah, that was a great experience? And I don't want to align with a brand where someone's going to say, that was awful. That was terrible. Could that happen with Sandals? It could. Is it likely to happen? Probably not. So that's where my business model is slightly different. But I feel like I'm rambling, as I always do. If you have any questions about what I do, how I do it, whether it has to do with you, your friends, family, or this is a business that you're considering and wondering if you can do part-time, full-time, just send me an email, debbie@hitchedaway.com, and I'll gladly answer any questions that you have. Okay. Um, Next week, the next time I'm here, I was going to do it today and I thought maybe not. I want to show you a bit of behind the scenes. I get a lot of questions about the setup, and just to give you who's behind, some of the things that I do and how I do them. So if you have any questions about the industry or just how it all works day to day, let me know. I have a question from Janice who asks, can a couple ask for the information on a resort they heard about? Can they, yes. Do you mean, can they ask me or can they ask for information? But I mean, in general, yes. Just if you can just clarify what you mean by that, Janice, I'll happily answer. But can a couple ask for information on a resort they heard about? Yes. So let's say, like you may know or may not know that I returned from a trip to Mexico in Tulum. Was it this year? Or late last year? Time flies, December, and I learned a lot about the resorts and saw different places, and that opened my eyes, and helps me because it helps me to help clients, even if it's a place that I really am not 100% sure I want to do business with. I can set you up with someone who can help you. Absolutely, I can. But it's good to go out and see places and compare. And like how I just said, I align with Sandals because they're consistent. I know Sandals. I've been there, I've inspected, and I feel comfortable. I've seen some other places, and it was just like, no. Mm-mm. Oh, Janice is clarifying. That's not in your group. Can a couple ask for information on a resort they heard about? Yeah. So if meaning not in my group, but that's not in my portfolio, that makes me sound very posh. But yes, absolutely. They can ask questions about that. And I can also, I'll be honest, if I've been there, if I haven't, but the circles that I'm in, I'm going to be able to point. I'm going to be able to find someone who can answer honestly and tell me. So that's Sandals is my preference, is my preferred. Do I work with any other brands? Yes, I will. But I want to be honest and say Sandals is always the go-to. But it's not a fit for everyone, right? Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad that makes sense. But those are the points I wanted to share with you today. I hope that I've answered any questions. I hope that I've helped. I really, I have a goal this year. Sandals has a Star Awards, and I'm not mincing words. I want to be on that stage at the early next year as someone who is bringing folks to Sandals. So if you or someone weddings, vacation, golf trip, girls trip, baby moon, we talked about that last week, anniversary, vow renewal, and Sandals is on the short list, or maybe not, please let me know, because I do want to I want to be able to, I really do want to be, it's a pain of me to say, I do really want to be a top producer for Sandals. And with your help, hopefully I can get there. But as always, I really appreciate you joining me live. I appreciate you joining the replay. Any questions, please visit hitchedaway.com. And if you're curious or want to be on the list for when we go live, I say we, that's in the royal sense, because I just told you it's me. Please visit hitchedaway.com/VIP, right? I had that here somewhere. No, that's not what I wanted to say. Here it is. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, visit hitchedaway.com/VIP. Enter your name, email, and I'll keep you posted what's going on with me. All right. As always, lots of love and success. I'm Debbie, and I wish you all the best for the week ahead and hope to see you soon next time. Take care, and thank you for joining me. Bye. And thank you, Janice.